Welcome to the next episode of What's New in Life Sciences. I'm Andy Barrow, I'm one of the Associate Directors here at Moria Bond, and this week we'll focus on some of the main challenges and trends related to projects in the sector, but across Europe and across other sectors as well. They all come under the banner really of global and economic challenges and trends. The most common one probably as a topic on people's minds right now is AI and the associated concerns or capabilities. So at the moment, there is a need to potentially look at regulation, security, cybersecurity, and what measures can be put in place around that. There's definitely a theme where we're seeing different size organisations are using it to different capacities in very different ways and how they adopt it. There's very much a limited understanding still on the capability and also the regulated environment around it, so therefore there's still an education to be had in that space of best usage, safety concerns, particularly if we're talking about companies within the life science space, food, medical device, pharmaceuticals, when you consider confidentiality, R&D, innovation, the place of AI and how that sits within that is particularly useful, but also particularly important. Beyond that, similarly, would be the place of automation as a whole. Whether that's new manufacturing sites, the implementation of certain technology and systems in place, whether it be something like robotic arms or the use of certain devices within a manufacturing plant, whether it's upgrades of equipment, updating outdated systems, legacy systems. That can be going from supply chain to quality and to QMS as well. A challenge where maybe a recruitment company can come in that respect would be the right people and the adoption of the right processes here can really optimize that space. But it is becoming more and more prevalent that the need and move towards automation. One that's ongoing and has always been the case, but is becoming more to the forefront because of certain regulations and certain situations, will be drug prices. We've seen a 10% increase in drug prices across 500 drugs, I believe, maybe even more, in the US based on certain regulations put in place. And we've already seen some of the major players, the likes of Sanofi, Takeda, Pfizer, already adopt these increases. And that's, I guess, a wider concern or trend or consideration, whether it be related to R&D or in general in that space, is how do they juggle financial goals as a company versus public demand and expectation, and then how that sits with innovation R&D as well. That's always that trifecta that the people out there will try and figure out. Of course, a big one on everyone's lips, so in the media and in the news probably over the last 12 to 15 months, is unstable inflation, rising costs across pharmaceuticals industries, but also other industries. This has led to a highly adoptive strategy of preemptive measures in many cases. Where can companies look to bring back costs? Where can they reduce cost, increase profit at the same time of these economic challenges? Another key trend and challenge will be supply chain, and we've probably seen an unprecedented number of challenges in that sector over the last 18 to 24 months, whether it be the pandemic and the potential of future pandemics, geopolitical situations, Suez Canal crisis, other similar related issues related to supply, demand, logistics, and then we've got the whole presence of rising conflicts and the impact that has on supply chain logistics and even just raw materials and access to those. So this has led to a stability issue in the supply chain sector as a whole across industries, whether that be shortage and scarcity of just the ingredients, and then the knock-on effect that can then have in terms of decision-making some companies face or have with regards to sustainability and the environmental impact of that as well. So whether it is inflation, cost of living, economy, or these geopolitical challenges, it does put an increased pressure on companies, but it also puts an increased spotlight on where to optimize and innovate, and that seems to be a bit of a banner that goes across all of these key challenges. We have seen that in most of Western Europe, in most of the world to be fair, over the last 18 months, inflation and interest rate costs have had an effect on consumer confidence, consumer spending, and then in turn, business confidence when it comes to growth initiatives, investments, and similar. There's been a definite focus on what I would term maximisation, optimisation. And that would be across ROI, and that return on investment. And that's from everything across projects, production, technology, systems, and processes. That is there really for companies to try and help mitigate any of the challenges we've just described across food, pharmaceutical, medtech, consumer goods, and other similarly related industries. From a talent and recruitment perspective, this has seen an increase in demand for experienced project engineering and process engineering professionals who've in many cases got a large experience leading some of these projects or being a plug and play individual to really add value across these projects. A real focus around that has been around things like supply chain optimization, demand planning and logistics, somebody who can come in and implement a new factory rebuild and similarly related areas such as that. There also appears to be a growing demand in certain pockets and certain geographies for quality professionals, particularly where it links to some of the things we've been discussing earlier today around optimization, processes, process improvement, where companies can maximize and optimize and eke out those extra innovations or extra bits of efficiency. There is a wider consideration on the quality front as well, that as that demand increases, quality isn't necessarily an area that people typically take as an educational study. It's something that they'll envelop and fold into from another study originally, whether it be more scientific, more engineering, and then they'll move into that space of compliance and regulatory and similar. So the fact that these individuals, in contrast to engineers, are not necessarily readily available sometimes, whilst these challenges are playing a part, has seen pockets of demand as well across certain geographical territories for that quality presence. What Moribond can do for you in this sense is free consultation. So that's advice on market trends, industry issues. Essentially, it'll be a free consultation discussion around your needs, your challenges, whether that's relating to upcoming projects, capacity needs, and resource and hiring plans, so that you can feel confident ultimately in regards to your planning from a hiring perspective. And in conclusion, we'd be able to help you find those people with the best solutions possible to fulfill your needs. In summary, the industry is continually growing. There's an endless possibility within the life science space, whether it be pharmaceutical, medtech, food, whether it be preventative medicine, the next generation of food production, whatever that may be, the possibilities, as I say, are endless. The real overall challenge here is the trend to reduce costs, improve quality, produce faster, and ultimately optimize in one way, shape or form. That's all for today's discussion. Thank you for joining me. If you've got any questions, want to know any more, please reach out to me or my colleagues and we can look to help you further. See you next time.